With the release of any new Doors update, there are bound to be plenty of secrets to uncover. The Christmas update was no exception to that, and even though Christmas did come and go, this update still remains relevant to this day. As you probably know, the update introduced a whole bunch of lore all about Glitch. However, it was only recently discovered that the update also added a very important and very secret hidden feature within the Crucifix. Oh yes, that's right. The most iconic item in Doors, the Crucifix, just got an absolutely jaw-dropping secret in the latest update, and its implications put the entire story of Doors in a whole new light. In today's video, I'm going to reveal what this new Crucifix secret is, and what it means for the rest of the game. So, with all of that being said, let's begin. Alright, so ever since the Crucifix was added nearly 3 years ago, there's always been a pretty big, lore-important secret hiding within it. As you know, whenever you crucify an entity and banish it with the Crucifix, a guiding light-themed sigil will form underneath the entity, sprouting out chains that latch onto the entity and pull it into the ground. This sigil, although looking incredibly cool at face value, actually has a secret message hidden inside of it. One of the sigil's rings depict a series of strange symbols. These symbols are a specific method of coding a language, that being wingdings, meaning they can be uncoded into English to reveal a hidden message. That message, as I'm sure you are well aware, is one of 3 architects marked by Celestials assists you. A very important phrase that helped us figure out the story of characters such as Guiding Light and Curious Light. So why is this important, you may be asking? Well, the latest Christmas update of Doors changed the Crucifix sigil yet again, and now it displays another cryptic message hidden in the wingdings code. It was recently found out that, added in this update, under very specific circumstances, the ring containing the coded message on the Crucifix sigil would actually change to display a different message. Now, before I get into what that message is, I want to reveal how exactly you can trigger this change for yourself. Under normal circumstances, with a completely normal Crucifix, the sigil will have the old message we are all familiar with, the one talking about the architects that I mentioned earlier. To get the new sigil to appear, you have to use a Crucifix with an item skin applied onto it. Any item skin will do, but if any happens to be applied onto the item, the message will change to this new one as of this update. The reasoning behind this weird requirement to get the new message will be explained later. But until we get to that, I think it's time to answer the one question truly on everyone's mind. What does the new message say? Well, just like the old one, it's coded in wingdings, and it only took a little work with a translation to figure out what its actual meaning is. The new Crucifix sigil states, "You grudge lust I see tings things." Now, at first that might just seem like gibberish, and it is kind of, but that's because the Crucifix sign is saying 2 different things at the same exact time. The entire message is lowercase except for a oddly placed few uppercase letters. When these letters are removed and put together, they read out glitch. The remaining text then becomes coherent, stating, "You're just seeing things." As you should probably obviously tell, this new Crucifix sigil is heavily tied to Glitch, they're even name-dropped, who, as you probably just know, received a massive lore dump in the latest update. However, that all raises the question of, why are we hearing about Glitch in the Crucifix of all places? After all, this is an item tied to Guiding Light, not Glitch. Why are they even here? Well, remember how I said that there's a reason that this new message only appears when you use a Crucifix on an item skin? Well, now it's time I explain what I meant by that. Now, before I continue, I want to give a brief overview of Glitch's lore to anyone who isn't in the know. Glitch is an entity that resides in our head, and everything they do is just a hallucination and not a physical thing. The Glitch fragment entities aren't real creatures, they are visions Glitch gives to us. The entire Christmas event is a vision Glitch gives to us, and that's why we speak directly to them every time we die in the event. Glitch has the capability of presenting us with these widely intricate hallucinations of creatures and places, yet they aren't real, and according to their dialogue, they do this to train us for what we experience in the real world of the game, such as the main floors and subfloors. That is Glitch's main motive, and although their hallucinations are mostly tailored to train us, Glitch does have their own personality which they reflect onto the visions they present us. Glitch openly reveals in their dialogue that the reason why Glitch Screech, which is one of their hallucinations, looks the way they do is because they liked how Screech looked with color. Same for Glitch Ambush. Most importantly though, Glitch reveals in their dialogue that they're the one behind item skins. If you die in the Christmas event whilst having no items with item skins applied in your inventory, Glitch will have the chance of saying, "I like the tools you're using, though I think they could use a splash of color." Given the circumstance needed for the death message to play, Glitch's messages regarding Glitch Ambush and Glitch Screech, as well as Glitch's known abilities to alter the player's mind, this dialogue line basically confirms that Glitch is directly responsible for the appearance of item skins. Whenever you use an item skin in-game, it doesn't physically exist. The item never actually changes, but Glitch makes you hallucinate that it does. This is why you can have flashlights made of figure or random objects you'd never come across in a normal hotel. These item skins aren't real, they're just figments of our imagination that Glitch conjured up. This also likely extends to buddies as well, and it's why we can hold Kringle in our hands. Kringle is a hallucination caused by Glitch in the Christmas event, so it makes sense for the buddy to also be a hallucination. Since all item skins are just visions by Glitch, Crucifix item skins are included in that as well. This is why the Crucifix sigil changes to the Glitch message if you are using an item skin on the Crucifix. It's because Glitch is the one making the appearance of the item change. They are directly causing the sigil to change. It also explains the actual message of the new Crucifix sigil. It says you're just seeing things because the item skins are quite literally just us hallucinating them. We are just seeing them, they aren't real. And Glitch's name is said because they're the one behind the change of appearance. That is the new secret hiding within the Crucifix that was added in this update. It was confirmation that all item skins are nothing more than just figments of our imagination that Glitch conjured up because they like colors or something. So, with that big reveal out of the way, now we know that all item skins are actually somewhat canon, to some extent at least. The term canon can be used loosely, as the whole situation boils down to just the player character using their imagination to believe that some items look differently, even though in reality they don't. I can confidently say though that this is probably the last major secret added in this Christmas update, and it was definitely a pretty big one. I can't wait to learn more about Glitch in the future, as now they are a pretty big player when it comes to the story of the game. So with all of that being said, let me know in the comments what you think of this secret, as well as if you think we'll get any more secret messages in the Crucifix, as I think this is a really unique way of hiding lore important details. You know, with the whole coded language and all that. But yeah. And thank you all for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.